Hello, hello. All right, hang on. I'm on. I'm on TV. I'm on the YouTube. All right. Okay. So I've been doing loads of research lately. I've put this film out. Another one about health, really, or mainly about health and stress. I've been doing a lot of reading, research, trying stuff out myself, trying to look at gang stalking and the effect it has on people. Why it's such a problem. And I think that the thing that I've come to realise is that stress is the main target. And what they're trying to do to us is cause disease, severe uncomfort, even sort of death through stress. And it's a very real thing, because stress affects your blood sugar, it puts you in the fight and flight, which we all know is like a really bad situation to be in the long term. It's good for you occasionally, but if you're constantly in the fight or flight, it really has a detrimental effect on your health. It drops your pH into acidic. Okay, your blood pressure goes up, your heart rate increases. Your blood gets thicker. All this stuff, and all this stuff is supposed to be for our survival. But over the long term, really, really unhealthy, and it's likely to kill you, and it does kill a lot of people, Talking about, sort of these people who get addicted to stress, and they have high powered jobs, high stress jobs, and they love it. They say, I love the stress, love the challenge and everything. But then in their 40s, they get in cancer and all this kind of thing. And it's because of the stress, because they've dropped their pH so low, their blood pressure's got so high, or they've had a heart attack or a stroke because of high blood pressure, or cancer's caused by really low pH, not enough oxygen in the body. Lots of other reasons, living in the city is not good for you, and all this other pollution. So that's our main enemy, and TIs are under a lot of stress. I know it myself because it happens, I get harassed. What I've been concentrating on is sorting out, controlling my body, controlling my blood sugar and things like that, because if you're already strung out because you're drinking too much coffee, or you're eating a lot of junk food, so you've got all these pollutants in your body, you've got all this caffeine and stuff, and then you get harassed as well. It's no problem for that harassment to become a problem and to create stress. Your blood sugar goes through the roof, dropping your pH, your heartbeat goes up. But if you actually concentrate on de-stressing yourself and on having a diet, which is a low stress diet, you find that a lot of the time when you get harassed, it doesn't affect you physically. It still affects you mentally. It's still annoying, but physically it has a much less effect. So it's a lot safer. And they are trying to kill you. I mean, don't sort of think about it too much, because that's bad for you in itself. You need to have positive thoughts, but you also need to know that that's what's happening. So I'm going to look at a few techniques that I've come up with for de-stressing, and some of them you're going to think are ridiculous, I think, but you need to try them out for yourself, because it's just something you notice. Now, if next time you go out, okay, you go outside, you get harassed, and your heartbeat goes up, you get angry, or you sort of the feeling I mean, you're in the fight and flight condition because of this harassment. It's causing you stress. Okay, when you get home, try having a shower, because showers, if you've got a shower, it's cheap and easy and it works. It totally distresses you, and I'm going to tell you why. One of the reasons is that moving water is good for you. The other reason is you're actually earthing your whole body. And if anyone knows about earthing, it's a great de-stressing technique, because, all the stress builds up inside, it's got nowhere to go. But actually, if you're earthed, if you're bare feet, earthed and touching the ground, a lot of that energy will dissipate into the earth. And it's totally true. There's been books written about it and everything. It's one of the big things about de-stressing. And you might know yourself, that when you get in the shower you feel good, but you might not have realised how distressing it is, because it doesn't make any sense to you, but that's why it works. Because the water that's sort of going onto your body from a shower is earthed, because the water's moving through these metal pipes. The metal pipes are connected to the earth, and it's the same as with a bath as well, because you got the metal ring around the plug, which is also connected to these metal pipes. So you can also get in the bath, and your whole body is earthed when you do that. Okay, and same with the shower. Literally, it's like one of the best things. You can use your shower as like a healing kind of pod. I mean, I do it all the time now. One of the things I've done to my shower is I've fitted a filter as well, because it'll work anyway. You don't need to have the filter. But the only problem with showering and bathing is that you're still getting the fluoride and the chlorine and all the chemicals going into your skin, going through your skin and into your body. So it's still going to heal you in the short term, but you are going to be taking on chemicals as well. The only reason I say is these shower filters, they're cheap. They're about 30 quid. Okay, which is probably about $40. Like I say, you don't need them, but it's going to clean up the water, and it's actually going to be like some of them will put in vitamins as well, and like it'll make the water pH alkaline as well. So it's going to be even better for you. But it's a great way of distressing, and I really believe that actually, like, as a TI, if you have even more than one shower a day, have one whenever you feel stressed if you can. And it works. It's amazing. The other thing is other earthing techniques, which is especially if you live in a nice hot country. It's great to just go outside barefoot, go on the wet grass or dry grass, on dirt or on unpainted concrete, barefoot, and you're actually going to be de-stressing yourself. A lot of the the electrical charge of the earth will actually come into your body, and it'll actually fight disease. There's loads of amazing advantages to earthing. The other thing is just getting outside and into the Schumann resonance, and out into the sun. Because the sun is also totally free, and it's one of the most amazing de-stressing tools you've got. It'll actually, the sun will actually also, clean your lungs of pollutants. It'll do loads of stuff for you that you don't realise, and a lot of the problem with this stuff is people don't appreciate it what it does for you. But the way to look at it is look what happens to people who don't have the sun. And then, as if you get a lot of sun, you can be doing the opposite of that. Because people who don't get a lot of sun, they commit a suicide. If you go to these northern places like Sweden and Finland and Norway, where during the winter months the suicide rate goes up. That is because they're not getting enough sun. That is literally the effect it has on you. So if you can get out into the sun, use it, because it's totally free and it distresses you, it'll make you live longer, it'll make you happier. Okay, and the Schumann resonance as well. We need the Schumann resonance, Vibrates, it's about 7.8 hertz, right? Which is going to then affect you and affect your brain waves, and around about 8 hertz is the alpha brainwave state, which is very relaxed. So the Schumann resonance will de-stress you and relax you. Just being outside, and that's all you've got to do. And you might have noticed, because I have as well, that being outside, especially in the nice weather, you're so much happier. Inside is where things start to go wrong. We are not biologically designed to be living in these boxes. They're not healthy. The other thing, you got the air inside these apartments is not good for you. The more of outside nature that you can get inside your apartment, it's going to be better for you. If you can bring plants in, you can open your windows. I mean, the more you can have your window open, the happier you'll be, because like the air's just going to be cleaner and better for you. Okay, and all these things are going to be taking away the work that the gangstalking is doing. So the other thing is exercise. Just try and get as much exercise as you can, because you're going to lower your heart rate, you're going to drop your blood pressure, and when like the gangstalking happens and the harassment happens, and your blood pressure goes up and your heart rate goes up, it won't go up as much because your resting heartbeat is a lot lower. And if it goes up too high and that blood pressure goes up too high, you could have a stroke or a heart attack and you could be dead. Keeping your resting heartbeat low is going to help you a lot. Okay, and the big thing is diet, because a lot of the stuff out there is not good for you, and it's made by the same people really who are gangstalking us. Drinks like Coca-Cola are awful. The pH is like 2.5 in a can of Coke. People with cancer have got a bodily pH of 4.5. Stuff like this, although like initially you might get a good feeling from it, the damage that you're doing in the long term is really bad. And even though like you get a good feeling out of it, and then you are guaranteed to later on get a bad feeling, which will require you to have another can of Coke to make you feel better. And it's a vicious cycle where you're just basically killing yourself, because the Coke's making you feel bad in the long term, and then you need more of it to make you feel better. There's 9 cubes of sugar in a can of Coke, in a 350 milliliter can of Coke. Okay, and I ask you, if you put that much sugar in a cup of tea, what would it taste like? And my accusation to that company, Coca-Cola, is they deliberately put as much sugar in as possible, and then they hide it, because it doesn't even taste that sweet. I don't know how they managed to get as much sugar in it without it tasting too sweet. It's ridiculous that they add that sugar for taste and flavour. To sweeten up like a cup of tea, you need 2 or 3 cubes. You don't need 9. And they're all the same, They're either worse or slightly better, but they've all got too much sugar. Their pH is ridiculous, All fizzy drinks, really bad. Okay, caffeine. Caffeine will raise your blood sugar. Once you give up caffeine, you realise that you don't need it at all. Caffeine's it causes a vicious circle as well, Once you start using it, your blood sugar, it gives you a blood sugar spike, so it keeps you awake, and then you get a lull. So you need another cup to keep yourself going. But once you break that cycle, you just don't need it anymore, because you haven't got the lull anymore. Alcohol, obvious. Sugar, just awful for you. Too much salt. We need salt in our diet, but having too much will raise your blood pressure. And if you have salt, go for pink Himalayan, because it's pH alkaline. Okay, but don't have too much of it. It's really good salt as well. It really salts up a dish quite nicely without being ridiculous. Table salt is just ridiculous, And what I'm going to add to this is basically, you can go through all these lists, but it's quite simple really. Anything that's man-made is bad for you. Apart from if it's medication that your doctor has prescribed to you, or, a health professional has said, yeah, you need this, and it's man-made. Apart from that, anything man-made is bad for you. Food is not made in a laboratory. All you need to be really healthy is just organic, non-GMO food. Learn how to make your own stuff. Once you do that, you'll find that you won't need to go to junk food places anymore, because your food will taste nicer. You can actually customise your food for yourself. If you design your own smoothie, you'll just love it. I love my smoothies, and it's the way to eat fruit and vegetable as well. Is raw and whole. You just work it out. Work out what you like, the fruit and vegetables that you like, Start eating more rice and lentil based dishes. You know, you can use mushroom, tomato, chickpeas, kidney beans. You can use seeds. You know, you can use nuts. All this stuff, you know, you just mix it up and it's great. You know, I'll tell you what is a great de-stressing snack. It's not cheap, but I'll tell you what, it's delicious. And you just get a punnet of blueberries and some organic cashew nuts and mix them together. I'll tell you what, it's amazing, you know. And it's a real de-stressing, because both those things, cashew nuts and blueberries, are both de-stressing. They're very stabilising to your blood sugar. And they taste much better than any junk food or any processed food. You know, what you realise is a lot of that stuff doesn't even taste very good, the junk food and the processed food. You just get hooked on it on the sort of probably on the fact that there's too much salt and sugar in them. That's all it is, you know, and there's probably other stuff in there that just gets you hooked. But once you leave that stuff alone, you don't miss it at all. So, you know, anything refined, like white rice and pasta and white bread, is really bad for you. All it does is they just take out all the good stuff and turn the sugar into fast sugars. You know, like white rice is basically whole grain rice that's polished, and that basically takes away all the good stuff out of it, causes the sugars in it to turn into fast sugars. You know, it don't even taste nicer. Brown rice is much nicer. You know, there's a lot of tricks you can do. There's a lot of good stuff out there that you can use to make your food taste nice. You know, because the typical image of eating fruit and veg is just like salad. You know, it's just like tomato chopped in half with some lettuce. But you can do so much more with them. You know, you put them in smoothies. You know, mix it in with some rice. You know, and you could use organic coconut oil. It's actually really good tasting stuff, and it's healthy as well. I make my rice and my lentils with this oil, and it thickens it up, gives it a bit of sweetness. Put a bit of pink Himalayan in there as well, and some spices as well. You know, like curry powder. You can use as long as it hasn't got any sea salt in it, because all the spices are good as long as they're pure. You know, you don't want to go for these spices where they mix them all up and they put in loads of sea salt and stuff like that. You know, you want to keep it whole, you know, as unprocessed as possible. You know, and turmeric as well, you know, sort of flaxseed oil and olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil is really good for you. It tastes great in a smoothie. I've got a great trick. Okay, you know, you're missing your kind of your treat food like maybe salted nuts and that. You know, you can actually make your own, and they're going to taste a lot nicer. Get yourself some organic almonds or some organic cashews. Okay, a couple of tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil on them, and some pink Himalayan salt, and that's actually really good for you. And they're salted nuts. They taste absolutely amazing, much nicer than any bag of nuts you're going to have. There's lots of things you can do, you know, like porridge. Make yourself some porridge, you know, and use apples to sweeten it. Okay, make yourself some porridge in a slow cooker. Use some coconut oil in there, a bit of pink Himalayan salt, and some apple. And you know what? That just tastes amazing. So I'm going to leave it there. I hope that's going to help you out. You know, just try some of this stuff. Because a lot of this stuff is totally free. You know, having a shower, have you got a shower? Next time you feel really stressed because of harassment, just get in it and try it out, because it works. It might not make no sense to you, but it works. It makes sense to me. It's because of earthing. That's why. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there, all right? Okay, see ya.